Hey everyone. It's 8:28. I only have until 9:28 to do this because I have a very busy day. Okay, let me just, instead of the usual, use the fast travel to, energy convergence entrance. I hope everyone had a good, Galentine's Day, Valentine's Way. Oh, goodness. You know the rest. I knew it was a bad idea. Why did I do it? For the content. That's why I always do it. Actually, you know what? That can wait. I don't remember what we did last time because I forgot to look at the older footage. I'm sure it's fine. Let's see, he's in research, so... Let's see, central research. Alright, let's see what we can... Ah, shit. Oh, where is he? Fuck. Bring it home, bitch. Kate did not see that second one coming. That's on me. Also, my aim is just terrible in TPS. Well, it's worse in FPS, but TPS I at least have some aiming prowess to my name. Come on. There you go. You know, in real life, I'm actually a pretty good shot, so it's always surprising that in shooting games, I just have the worst aim. Fuck. Line of sight's for a sniper, that's why. But, fuck, I know I was gonna say something insightful today. It was like a whole big conversation starter. Okay. I think just because this is the month of February, which is, of course, not just the month of love, even though it's not actually about the month of love, it's to honor a man that wanted to make sure that humanity could marry whomever that they desire, because the Romans were trying to see it as a crime. And wanted to execute people that wanted to even have the institution of marriage. Alright, there's a shelter behind me. But I'm not getting into the whole history of St. Valentine where they ripped him apart, and the reason we have a heart as a symbol is because that's all they left of his body as a symbol. His heart on a stick. Because I'm pretty sure people are sick of hearing that historical fact. I was so close, goddammit. If I could aim better, that would be great. I don't have the aim for this. I'm a melee person. I don't do this long-range shit. Right, so the notion I was going to get at for this being Black History Month and the air quotes month of love, you guys will never know how hard it is to kind of love yourself in the days that we live in, and how it gets weirder and kind of worse the older that we get in certain things. Hi, Nocturne. Welcome in. Like, I'm saying this as a person of color, where Many people in this new day and age will never really understand how hard it was to find loving your own skin when most of the romance that people got to see was from Caucasian individuals, Caucasian families, and whatnot, to create the nuclear image to kind of then make being brown for Black, Indian, and certain Hispanic individuals, or being a slightly more tannish to have a slight red hue for Native Americans and so forth and so on, was the nom de guerre to make Native Americans, Asians, and whatnot not feel the same way. That many people were like, to be a Caucasian is the greatest gift. It's a weird thing to kind of realize how hard it is to love yourself when you're in a society that really hates the way that you look. And then when I'm trying to bring this up to younger people, they're just like, well, that seems like a day long since past. Racism doesn't exist. I have many people to where I let them say whatever and it doesn't bother me because it's just words. It's just words now because of all the fights that went through in many different generations. 90s kids thought nothing really of it for the most part because many of us were like, hey, maybe it's just skin deep if we just claim back the word in whatever, because of the people from the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, all the way back to even those that were fighting in the ways that they were brought inhumanely to North America. And even for those that were brought inhumanely to other countries. But now it's just kind of to the point where in the current climate that we have, it's not really about loving yourself. It's about fitting the mold that will just allow you to be subservient, to be a puppet, to where your self-worth is dependent on how others want to view you as the ultimate way of being loved, being respected, and other titles like that. Why am I really getting into this? Well, maybe it's just that I'm getting older. Maybe it's just from the other stuff that I have noticed while getting older in this weird day and age, but it's less of a factor to simply be loved in return for just your actions and whatnot, but we're slowly just getting into that weird mindset, that weird era of life where, because so much vitriol and hatred became commonplace, there is no real peace. There's just so much unrest that we live in very tumultuous times to a very scary and terrifying level. But we also don't have the same generation that is fully understanding this. And it's also why I'm a little bit pissed, well, not really a lot pissed at certain actors and actresses that are within my graduating class of performing arts and whatnot that kind of just don't understand why certain questions and certain things aren't meant to be asked in the presence of mixed public company. Like, I'm not going to give names to this person because if I do, this very famous person is just going to get even more recognition, and I don't want them to get any more recognition. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve the flowers they get. I'm pretty sure Nocturne just listening is like, oh, this is like one of those random rambles. And I'm sorry, Nocturne. This is one of those games that gets my brain really into that whole I need to talk about serious topics mindsets. It's a curse, really. Anyway, so this person, they're Hispanic by origin, to where they should know that asking this very public question is very damning and very dumb. And the reason I'm going to state this is going to be for certain reasons that I can't really get into for many, many different spaces, but I can at least give over the why it's bad. It's never a smart thing to, in a public setting, for non-minorities to put their opinions through, to ask the dumb question of, what does it mean to be insert ethnicity here? Now, I could go into the whole history stuff for you guys, but allow me to just put it to you guys like this. That's the dumbest question for a minority to ask, because that's built around the conquistadors, the conquering nations, the oppressors, the overall just colonizers in general that wanted to dehumanize people, and that was used more as a rhetoric for trying to use savagery, the terminology, to dehumanize people. It is a dumb question on that precipice. There are deeper levels to it on why that's a terrible question for a minority to ask another minority that opens up so many different floodgates, but that is one of them. And so it kind of leaves it to be a bad taste in my mouth. Oh yeah, dope. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth as a minority myself, because I think that is a very ineptly stupid thing to just... If it was in private, it's different. But you made it a public spectacle for people to just run wild with it as an invitation. And it's not on that whole thing of, oh, if it's just a simple audience, it's whatever. When you have a platform and your name is huge, that opens gates for many of your fans to do the dumbest things. And I mean the dumbest things with the things that you bring up. And it opens up doors you do not want to have open. It is honestly one of the stupidest things I have to explain to a younger generation, because it shouldn't have to be explained. It should be known by now. And that's what pisses me the fuck off. Which I know I also get the whole people being like, oh my god, V, you're so sensitive. It's nothing that deep. It's nothing that crucial. People can talk about things about minorities and whatnot. It's not supposed to be a very bad thing. Uh-huh. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that, because I don't fucking believe anyone on that front. But I'm gonna take a pause on that in front, because you guys came here for fun, and I'm getting serious. So first and foremost, how you doing, Nocturne? I know you didn't sign on for this very serious topic, but we're here because I want to do more serious conversation stuff. Regardless if this leads into people being like, well, I can't sponsor this person. They're too racially set in their ways of wanting respect and justice for themselves in fields we don't understand. But I'm also just, you know, tired. Because multiracial, I could be in many different ethnicities, but at the same time, most people will just be very comfortable nowadays just calling me the N-word with the hard R, despite the fact that I am multiple cultures wrapped into one. And thank you for that vote of confidence, Nocturne. I'm just... Maybe it's me, okay? I'll admit, maybe it's me, and I shouldn't be this uptight about it. You know, I get that too, Nocturne. I do. But at the same time, I get why many people would be like, oh, you gotta let this go with this one person. They're young. You know, they're brown like you. No, they're not. They're a white passing Hispanic, which makes it so much worse, given the scrutiny that comes into play on that front. And no, I will not elaborate because that's not my full-blown story to tell. It's just... I wish there was a way to explain it to people about why that's a very dumb question to ask in a public setting of stuff, and why using a platform of Twitch, because this was a Twitch stream years ago I will never let go, that I personally hate the most, because this is not a giant conversation to be blooded in public. Like, yeah, I did a whole panel talking about the whole state of matters in a podcast show about how voice acting is going to be with the diversity thing. But that was a topic of conversation for a one-to-one of their opinions of the market for business. That wasn't about trying to put a whole definition on someone's skin tone, someone's ethnicity, someone's culture. That's the thing I keep trying to make people understand on the whole thing of, well, you shouldn't be so sensitive because all you're doing is just perpetuating the same problem that you're violently against. Which, if you had a point, I would fucking just whatever. I would get it. You would have all the say in the world. But it's always funny how it's Black History Month or Hispanic Heritage Month. I get this pissed about that memory to this day, and it's why I have so many problems with that one actor.
Was that the mindscape of the astral plane is subjective, but that was fast proven wrong. It's an actual place, not a construct of the mind, even though it is with our minds that we enter and experience it. But then one could argue that that's the case with all reality. We've been able to record footage of the astral plane by monitoring the brain activity of those experiencing it. That is the only concrete material that has come out of the astral plane expeditions. Apart from one shocking exception. In the astral plane footage, we're always in the vicinity of the pyramid. We've concluded that this, not the entire plane, is what the board controls. We have glimpsed movement. Native species, always in the distance, and yet contact was made. We don't have footage of this, a technical malfunction, but when one of our astronauts returned, a brain cloud, an astral fugue, had hitchhiked a ride in his head. It ruptured out, killing the subject in question. It's a relentless predator, pursuing thoughts, minds, lethal to those the entity feeds on. Proper containment protocols are to be observed when dealing with it.
Whew. Anyway, that's the first big thing. But now back into how, although this is the month of love, I have complaints with, shit. I have complaints in how we have bastardized the point of February with, first and foremost, this is not really meant to be the month that we have turned it into. I will say that every day. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to shoot this ball. Evidently, the ball is too strong. Now, where was I? All right. The ideology that we have adopted in how romance should be is definitely a problem that I don't think we actually get into play. Walls to the ball, goddamn! How are we supposed to live like this? But, right, so it's weird how we've gone from a actual society of creatures that understand camaraderie, compassion, and overall the feelings of love. But we make it so transactional that the ideology of love is a fallacy. And I know many people would be like, oh, that's just your cynicism talking. No, let's actually look at it for real, for real. For real, for real, for real, for real, for real. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing right now. I'm just pressing buttons. Oh, that's what. Oh, shit, that's right. God damn it. I was supposed to do that the whole time. Jesus. I know I'd finally get it eventually. I'm just mad at myself it took this long. But right, back to the point I was making. I'm getting better at this multitask with my attention deficit disorder. So, the way we've kind of ultimately made it transactional is why I think a lot of relationships don't last as long as they should anymore. Like, really think about where we've come and where we're necessarily going. And it is the saddest thing. We don't really... Oh, God. Oh, boy. I'll come back to that later. It's fine. Anyway, as I was saying, it's less and less about finding the person and more about finding the transactional worth of the individual, which is my biggest problem with where we've come as a society. Because if we were to think back a few decades, a few centuries, a few millennia, we could find more realistic relationships being born less out of necessity in certain regards for the everyman, and more of it being for the blue bloods, the nobles, those that wanted to keep up a legacy. And yet, coming down to it, when we get to where we are today, it's more of a blue blood society of thinking rather than what we want for ourselves. Which, sure, I mean, we could do any sort of hearsay people want. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Oh boy, I am gonna die, and it is okay. I deserve this. Oh god, I feel like I'm about to have a seizure again. You know, Nocturne, that is a good point. That is a good point and a depressing point, the more I think about it. Like, we haven't really had the actual standpoint of love in a lot of regards, which is true. We haven't, and I doubt we ever will. But the problem with it being in what we think is focally America has sadly become a norm across the board. Because many cultures are starting to slowly die out with that approach, and with the American idealism, that's becoming more of the norm. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. Okay. My thought ball into here, I can just seal them in. No materials means it can't die, but it also can stabilize. That's my thought process. But yeah, back to the matter at hand. It's definitely the American ideology that is infecting the world overall, because it's very much less and less of what many cultures still want, and more about the how can I have the American romance. That American romance that so many people say is the healthiest on the planet. Come on, you dipshit asshole.
What was the girl doing with that thing?
Okay, finally. Took forever and a fucking day.
Back up down here.
Marshall, are you still there? Shit. We're so close. We need to hurry.
Anyway, so because of that whole thing is probably why I kind of hate February as a month of love connotation. I am really bad at shooting games. I know it's on my backlog, but I suck at shooting games, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I am terrible at them. But I'm gonna try to finish this for you guys. Because I started what I started. It's part of the backlog, and unless stated otherwise, I'm gonna see this shit through. Normally I would do that same joke like I do for I don't do defense and parry and shit, but I'm honest, I am not great at shooting games. My aim is terrible. Even though IRL, I can snipe. I legit can snipe several yards away. With the best of them, I have at least an 8 out of 9, 9 out of 10, whatever you want to quantify it, hit rate when it comes to my shooting average. But in FPSs and TPSs, I have no real aim. I am terrible. Game, if you make me do that same shit again, I swear to God. I was about to say, game, you're on my list. The ball is dead. That's all I fucking wanted. The ball is dead. But yeah, the whole notion of making February the month of love, that is a fallacy that I have despised for a long, long time. And I think we need to retire it because honestly, I don't feel the air quotes love that they market, no matter what you say, Hallmark Channel. I don't feel that sense of love. Get out of the Mobius chair, you fucks! Exactly, the commercial is the problem of it all. Like, if this were back in the point in history when this was literally about, as many people have heard time and time again, it's about a saint in the Roman Empire that was trying to supersede one of the emperors. Which one? It doesn't matter at this point. It was one of them. But he wanted to supersede them because they wanted to keep up the concept and the proverbial beauty of marriage. For the people to be with whomever they wish and whomever they desire. It was a protest against a overall ruler of their proud nation of Rome. Did not plan that. Anyway. Huh, I guess I'm getting better after almost dying! So yeah, after the peaceful protest ended in his horrific slaughter, it became a day of remembrance for the saint himself, where the only thing left of him was his beating heart on a stick. Fast forward several years later, consumerism turns it into a thing of, if you buy your sweetheart this thing, you will be able to say that you're embracing the month of love on Valentine's Day. This holiday about a brutal murder of a saint that wanted people to have the right to get married regardless of what their whole credence was towards their ruling figure of their society. The month of love. I think you guys are tone deaf, Buy these chocolates and diamonds and flowers, otherwise you will never have a kiss or even know what sex is like ever again. We live in a society of idiots. I'm pretty sure many people hearing this years down the line will be like, man, this guy sounds super single and like an incel. No, really, look at it from an unobjective lens. That's Valentine's Day. You can show that you love someone any day. You don't need a holiday for it. But the way that society itself, not just America, but all over the place, wants to push it, that's what love has become. That is what romance has become for February. Not about remembering someone who fought against tyrannical rule of the emperors in a way that should be studied today, in non-violent protest against a regime, to make sure that people could understand the value of marriage in all of its highs and lows. It's become a commercialization about where we're sitting today. Do I like Rome historically? Hell no. A lot of people from Africa were enslaved for the Romans in many different ways. The same as the French, the same as the European nations, the same as a lot of different parts of the world overall. I could give less of a fuck, because technically this also means that many African Americans aren't potentially just from Africa, but could be Italian, could be French, could be Spanish, could be so many things from how diluted the pool has become, to where African Americans aren't even just black anymore. The pool is so diluted from all this stuff. And from it, it's like, what really is an ethnicity anymore at that point? From how much we have been robbed of an individual part from the motherland of Africa. It is so bizarre on that front, but I am getting off topic. The fact of the matter is, I don't believe we need Valentine's Day. Is it nice to have? I guess, if you want to keep up with the concept of what you're making the holiday. Is it necessary? No. It never has and never will be necessary. I will stand on that, and I will stand 10 toes in. I'm standing on business. I would rather die 1,000 deaths than promote Valentine's Day itself. I think it is pointless. I think it does cruel things to people. I think it's an overall evil. You know what, Nocturne, you bring up a good point. We don't need it, but do we need any holiday? All of them embody something that should exist every day, not just... Exactly. Like, I guess to get back on this high horse, because, God, Control and fucking Silent Hill 2 just bring out that I need to get on my soapbox thing. I need to get deep and personal. I don't know why these two games do that to me. Like, as controversial as this is gonna sound, guys, I don't think we just need a single month of history for minorities. I know, very controversial opinion, but we don't need a single month for Black history. We don't need a single month of Hispanic heritage. We don't need a single month for Asian and Pacific Islander appreciation. I know, stop the fucking presses! God damn it, I am the worst when it comes to shooting. We don't need those. We don't need a day of love and whatnot. I know, how dare I suggest that we have it be a, not just a single month, but all year round thing to appreciate the individuals that gave us the first open heart surgery, musical contributions, the first ever successful flight for many people all over the nation, people that fought for the independence of many young minorities that were trying to fight against the majority. How dare I suggest such a concept? I should just be grateful of the... If you guys cannot tell, I am joking, and so is Nocturne.
It's such a dark concept that I should be arrested for.
God, this is getting super close. This bitch. Game, you're gonna make me want to re-download Digimon Survive. And all that is just a bunch of teenagers abusing digital monsters. I wish I was kidding. There's a literal scene of I think a teenager literally beating a rabid digital monster until it evolves to eat him. That is a thing we will address later. Okay, Marshall, we'll be right there. Goddamn. I know, how dare, bruh? That's just... What the fuck?
Marshall, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Who is this?
My name is Jesse Faden. I'm coming to help.
Faden? Hold on. I'm setting the elevator for you. We need to talk.
You got that right. More of you? Really?
Really? You know, funny you bring this up, Nocturne, because I'm gonna address, like, the biggest elephant that pisses me off right now from modern gaming. Now, as many people know, I will never get political, so you guys will never know what my views are. Not because I don't have them, but just because, you know, it's my fucking business. But I will state, I will be forever mad whenever there is whenever there are stories, I'm sorry, I forgot my English for a second, of what we could tell. One of those stories that I recently found out about was Ubisoft had the option, they had everything that they needed to tell a story about you being in Assassin's Creed, and you're not only fighting but killing members of the Ku Klux Klan. When I found out about that, I was livid about why they didn't do it. And it was because they felt they didn't want to be on the wrong side of history releasing it. Ritual intuition trophy earned. Oh no, it's actually a thing. You can look it up. It is crazy. But it's from those notions and Japan kind of pulling the plug on 16's overall original story that really had more merit than what we give credit for. Because I know a lot of different interviews say different things, but there are certain subtexts that you can pick up of where stories could have been better than what they want to tell the public. I found that out a long time ago doing a lot of stuff in business. Because I have to speak like a businessman. Sometimes you got to cover your own ass when you know you did wrong and you fucked up. So from that notion, from Ubisoft pulling the plug on that, and then of course the overall nature that comes from Square kind of pulling the plug on telling a very racially charged story about oppression and where it could have gone for 16, and instead making it a overall prequel to the entirety of Final Fantasy as a whole deadlock premise, which honestly, okay, it's fine, whatever. But what happened to the days where protest art / aggressive art to the oppressive individuals was acceptable? We could tell stories that were in your face about what is wrong, and no one got upset about it. No one was miserable finding out that, hey, I may be wrong about my views. I may have all these things going forth on all this different connotation of stuff. We ended up becoming so complacent about trying to be marketable for the business of the everyday that we're in today that we've lost count of, oh yeah, dead body in the bathroom. We've lost count of the individuals that are brave enough to tell their stories to its full limit. We're so consumed in doing other things of trying to sell out to a different that we allow things to suffer. Like, maybe not just for big stories that were in your face about what is wrong with the world. Maybe it's stuff that deserved a new telling. Fuck your garbage and fuck your recycling. Pick it up yourself, goddammit. I'm the CEO. I own this bitch. I have no ass and I have red hair. Therefore, much like any person in the 70s and 80s, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Anyway, enough of me trying to act like every single action movie white woman. So, if we were to just do that whole lens of the canceled South Assassin's Creed and Final Fantasy 16, it's also for other games that had full stories that were going to tell bigger projects, like how we, the people, are made as puppets, if not marionettes, to a system beyond our control. And therefore, if we're trying to fight against it, shut up, Marshall. If we're trying to fight against it, sometimes it pushes us back in those directions to take away our autonomy. So what can we do when we have no autonomy in an autonomous society? That's a connotation that I will be addressing in a video I'm doing for Final Fantasy 15. And the reason I'm kind of harping on Square about this is because Square made a lot of JRPGs that really defined how to do stories that were in your face about an oppressive nature, about what it means to do protest art the same way that Hayao Miyazaki's done and whatnot. And so from that notion, along with the French doing what they can do in different stories and different connotations here and there, whether it's for Claire Obscure talking about different things about choice and about how when we're living in a fantasy to where we're no longer given free will, we're trying to break the fantasy to become a reality in what we need to embrace. And other notions like this. We have protest art, but we don't have it the same way. We have to make it ourselves because the AAA titles aren't helping us. They're trying to chase after these different things here and there for remakes and resells and remasters of stuff that we wanted back in the day, but now we want something fresh and something new. And that's not just for video games, guys. We also have this for film. Film used to be filled to the brim with stories that were talking about what we needed to know as a society, what we deserved to know. But along those lines, we kind of got complacent in trying to chase the dollar to where many people forgot that the first ever thing of a show, a minstrel show from Harlequins, if you will. Those were from people who were mocking the royals, mocking the nobility, mocking the people in power. And we went from that to making stage plays, still making fun of what society has turned us into. That was art being a protest to what is an unfair regime, to expose the lies that are making us fight friend and friend, neighbor and neighbor, to turn us into enemies, rivals to rivals, to instill that whole notion that this is a sick society. We jump from all of those beautiful things to where we're just trying to do a whole lot of cash grabs. We're trying to make sure that we perpetuate the same cycle that we were trying to avoid with art. And that pisses me the fuck off. Anyway, I'm going to take a small break from all that.
Congratulations on your appointment, Director Phaeton. I'm Helen Marshall, Head of Bureau Operations. Zachariah's dead then. And I assume you found his gun.
Just call me Jesse. Trench told me to find you. He said you could help.
And he told you this through the hotline. Makes sense.
None of this phases her? Really?
Here's the situation. Darling created the HRAs in a lab nearby. We need more if we're gonna survive this attack. My rangers can't secure the lab alone, not against those things. We need more firepower.
At least she seems to know what's going on here. She could know about Dylan. I can clear out the hiss. I'll be your firepower.
That's a good answer.
Is she testing me?
Darling has systems in place to protect his labs. This should help you get past them. We'll talk more after you clear out the hiss. Rangers, let her through. We'll have to lock the door behind
Dope.
her. Sorry, but we can't risk a breach.
That's fine. Anywho, I know we're going above my time limit. I was only going to do this for about an hour. But God, these two games, Control and Silent Hill, they really make me want to do deep thought conversations while I game. Which I know for many people, they're just like, oh, we didn't come here for all of these different things. We came for escapism. And sure, I could give you guys escapism any other day of the week. I also do mic-less streams where I don't get supercharged in my thought process and I just game. It's not about me talking, it's just playing the game. But this is talk time. Thank you, Nocturne. Yes, they are mentally engaging games. So my brain's just gonna be hotwired to be like deep thought mode. I'm not trying to do this to be, oh, here goes Unc. He's just trying to tell us all this stuff so that we can then insert Gen Alpha slang here about all this stuff. And I just sit back glossy-eyed like, what the hell did you just say? Like, I wish I was fucking joking. I'm just literally like, what the hell did you just say? I really have no idea what the fuck a lot of Gen Alphas are saying, bro. I'm like, what are you saying? I am old, okay? I'm a millennial. I'm a young millennial. I don't understand shit. I only understand the slang of Gen X, myself, and maybe Gen Z a little bit. Like, I could get behind the stuff that Gen X can say. I know what millennials are saying all the time, my dude. But as soon as it gets to Gen Z, I'm like, I kind of understand what you're saying, because I have Gen Z friends. But I'm also like, what the hell are you saying? This isn't even a rant or me being upset. It's like a generational divide of... Our slang has gotten to be to where we need dictionaries for each generation. And that's hilarious to me. It is the funniest thing, but also the saddest thing. Right? It's so confusing. Or I'm like, kids, you can't say type shit and then not expect people to just type shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's just that situation type shit, you know what I'm talking about? No, I don't know. I actually had to have friends explain these terms to me where I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Where is he? Where the fuck is he? Bitch. Bitch. You dig, bitch. Nah, she pro for real. Like, bet she owned them type shit. No, bruh. I don't even know what the fuck you just said, but even I'm just like, what the fuck? Slang is crazy. If you really think about how much we've dived into for it, slang is crazy. We've gone from golly gee willikers from I think it was the 30s and 40s. And then of course that also led into people having a gay old time, meaning a completely different thing than what we have today. Of just, let's just be super gay about our whole time. That just meant being happy, being jubilant, being at peace, to also have a joyous time. You can't say that shit today. But I digress. From all those different things, we then go from all those things to gadzooks! You big beluga. That would be the 40s and 50s. If I wanted to listen to that, I would. And then 60s and 70s had their own slang. To then go into the 80s of radical, tubular. No, tubular was 90s. Radical was definitely 80s. And then, of course, the 90s really popularized stuff of do that, Shaw, righteous, and many other connotations of the like.
And most of the things around here. If Marshall can't help us with Dylan, he's our next best bet. Assuming he's not dead. Or taken over by the hiss.
And then the 2000s had their slang, and then so forth and so on, to where nowadays I can't keep track of shit. Especially that stupid 6'7" meme that went through of 6'7", 6'7". Like, what the fuck does that even mean, kids? I'm old. I have kids. I have grandkids. What the fuck does the 6'7" thing mean? And the fact that I found out from a friend of mine named Cass, aka Cass Ass. She likes to be the queen of ass. Respectful to the whole title, I guess. Pop off queen. She was just like, she was working on a set for a TV show where a kid actor wouldn't do anything unless the director said skibbity. This is what slang has evolved into, and I am confused. But the problem with all of that isn't from just the slang, it's just the nonsensical nature we've put the language of English into practice. No access, but I'm the director. You know what? This place sucks. I hate every last one of y'all motherfuckers. You broke bitches. When I get full access, someone's getting fired. When I get full access, someone's getting fired. And after someone getting fired, I'm gonna be hiring a whole lot of people. Gonna do a whole lot of shit. Most of which is just gonna be me putting my foot in your ass. Who's watering all the plants? The gardener. But he's dead. I did not kill him. He's just dead. That was my predecessor.
Of positive interactions. So I play this and get in the tank. Okay. Self-reflection can bring answers.
I'm just apparently getting all the side quests. But I'm gonna need to slow down now because my time really is over the limit. But it's nice to do these high thought-provoking games because I don't usually get time to really be with my thoughts when I'm just in the middle of games of not really huge thinking. Because sometimes I just get super vegged out and I then just do a lot of ad-libbing of a lot of the things that I tend to do. Not in a bad way, just, you know, I get lost in it. Okay, all the time. Alright, you happy, Nocturne? All the fucking time. Happy, motherfucker. Also, what the fuck is an HRA lab? Fuck your chair. I mean, maybe. The fuck you mean I can't I am the director! Someone's getting fired. Someone's getting fired, bruh. The disrespect. The utter disrespect. How dare. How utterly dare. This is a travesty. This is a crime. It's because Jessie has no ass, isn't it? No ass and very little titty. That's why y'all are being so oppressive. Because she's not built like Isla Fisher, Christina Hendricks, or if Raquel Welch had red hair. Discrimination, I tell you. All right. Trying to get my Foley work more and more up there. This is not me making random noises. It's honestly me practicing my Foley work because I'm gearing up for some stuff hitting Spotify for one of my businesses where I'm trying to get my Foley game up there. Lost his mind on street. Sir, please. I lost my mind a long time ago. Although I guess this is probably the best time to really talk about it, because I doubt I'll really be able to talk about it again. if anybody sees my second ex-wife ever on the internet, I didn't do this for my first failed marriage, and that's just because I was young and dumb, and we had falling outs for stuff that we both communicated horribly about. I don't want people to go off and be like, "Go support her right now." Nah, it's that bridge has been burnt on both ends for reasons that I've made publicly clear, and she has privately made a lot worse some situations. But for my second ex-wife, if you guys have seen her in my chats and other things and you guys come across her, make sure you give her some support. Like right now, she's doing a whole lot of stuff that's maybe gonna work, maybe not gonna work. I don't know. But despite everything from where we're sitting, I want her to succeed. Even if she doesn't want to let me succeed. Like, she says stuff of, I want you to be a success, I want you to be happy, but from all the stuff I've heard from people that keep up with her socials, it's more or less a whole smear in the mud type situation where it's like, I'll say this in your face and then kind of post stuff where it's vague enough to where people would fit in the dots to ruin your name because of reasons. Like, if that makes sense. But I, at least on this public platform, want everyone to, if you come across her, to support her. I may have issues with her, she has issues with me. But I'd rather do it to where she has success over the things that have nothing to do with what she and I do.
Guess we never thought we'd be fighting on our own turf. Seriously.
Behind closed doors. Because it has nothing to do with the art. It has nothing to do with the sounds. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. Our problems are our problems. It has nothing to do with the audience. It has nothing to do with friends getting involved or other loved ones. That's not the point of having conflict. It's just between herself and I on where things are progressing and or have progressed. So, this is why I'm just saying, of your own free accord, you guys could support them or not. I don't care. I'm just doing what I feel is right, which is I want people to support her. Not out of obligation, because I think we've made it very clear I don't oblige by a lot of things. Okay, that death is a sign I need to wrap this up, but give her support, give her the overall drive that she needs, because I've been doing this a long time. I've lost it all, I've gained it all, I've seen the highs and the lows. right now, I'm trying to organize multiple teams, do multiple things. And at the same bridge of it, where I'm also doing stuff for myself on my personal YouTube channel to build bridges with other brands so that they can funnel back into my main businesses. I also don't want the people that I no longer talk to not be fed. So if, again, you guys find them in the wild, maybe on certain platforms, maybe not, I don't know. But if you find them there, you give them support if you can. Or don't. I'm not here to tell you guys to do it. I'm just giving this out into the world because that's the right thing to do. Don't hold on to animosity. Don't try to push for something villainous and rude. Don't try to do anything that just feeds into the negative spiral. Because I genuinely want her to succeed. That's all I want for her. So, on that note, because it is now 10 a.m. on my end of things, I'm going to stop here because we had a lot to talk about in this whole stream, and we still have a lot of things in the backlog to get through. It's been a slow start because 2026 has been a very weird year to start off with for IRL things and whatnot. Thank you, Nocturne. And so we're going to be doing some more mic-less streams, but tomorrow I might be doing a mic'd up stream in the morning. Maybe, if I have time. If not, we will do some more mic-less stuff throughout the weekdays, because, again, certain games I could do without talking, no problem. 16, 12, Neo, The World Ends With You, all those different titles, a lot of JRPGs I could do without conversing. We will be going back to Clair Obscure. Control will be put on the shelf until April, so I'm going to be deleting this today to then make room for a different thing in the backlog, which is God of War 5, where we're going to have to start from the very beginning, because I don't remember shit anymore. So, we're going to do that, especially because TC Carson told me that they're doing the remake of the first 3 God of War games, and I am so stoked. But, yeah, you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you for coming out to be in this stream with me. I know this is out of my wheelhouse for how I usually conduct myself, but sometimes it's good to let everything out, because then you feel lighter when it's a controlled sense of having stuff on your head. And, yeah. Be good people. Make great choices. Know that if you don't feel like someone loves you out there, I love you. And just have a good rest of your weekend. Bye.